Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to the Social Hour of Batman on Film podcast. I am the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Ramey, and you are listening to episode number 140 of this here BOF podcast. Let's ride right into welcoming my co-host on this show, senior BOF contributor Ryan Lauer. How are you, sir?
Hello. I'm good. I'm doing good today. Isn't it crazy? You just said episode 140, and it did not feel like long ago. I was challenging you with every episode. Which Dallas Cowboy comes to mind with?
Yeah, with number
49, 67,
Yeah.
84.
Yep.
Those were the
I
days.
don't. Do any sports teams have triple digit numbers? I think I've seen some on not players, but like officials sometimes,
Okay.
maybe.
Not that I can think of.
But whatever. Okay, so I do not know a number 140. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
long ago. That was long ago. So the good thing is, well, the bad thing is we can't play that game anymore. But the good thing is, we're still doing these podcasts, so we're
Mm-hmm.
continuing on. So it shows we do have a little audience here. All right, we're going to continue with our BOF Rankum series, and today we will be ranking our top five, our favorite Batman on film. Well, Bat logos on film. Yeah, Bat logos on film. So the official logo for live action Batman films, excluding the two 1940s serials, as we have not included them in any of our rankums.
Yeah.
And we will.
You said it right there. Serials. And right before that, we said live action films. So,
cereal, not cereal, like Cocoa Puffs and Frankenberry.
Ooh, now we're talking. We're talking. Let's rank
Tricks.
some
Tricks. Lucky Charms. There we
Cinnamon
go.
Toast Crunch.
Blueberry, yes.
Okay, now you're talking monster cereal. Boo Berry,
Yeah.
Count Chocula, Frankenberry, the Monster Mix. I still have a nice stash because those sales at the end of Halloween season. They can be like, hey, we got to
Yeah.
get rid of this.
Yeah.
And it's just a big old billboard of like, hey, Ryan, come on over. And then I do.
I remember as a kid having all three of them: the Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry, and then mixing them together.
I might have done that once with Count Chocula with them, and I was like, no, I can't do this. But Boo Berry and Frankenberry, I'd always do, because you get to that very that bottom.
Yeah.
It's not enough on their own to do a bowl of cereal, but to get together,
Yeah. Was there another one of those monster cereals?
Yeah, there is. Oh my gosh, Target just did like a decade ago.
Was there a mummy one?
Yes, Yummy Mummy, and then Fruit Brute. Fruit Brute had the wolf on it.
Okay.
And then Yummy Mummy, yeah, it was a mummy. And for some reason, those two popped up. I think they did just a couple years ago too, like a redesigned box stuff. And then it was like a decade ago they did original boxes. But for some reason, yeah, they just make those two pretty spread out, not every year. So I don't know.
Man, when I was a kid, I've talked about Saturday morning cartoons were a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal. I mean, they would have primetime specials previewing the new season of Saturday morning cartoons on all three of those networks, ABC, CBS, NBC back then. And Hell, it sucked. You didn't have a VCR. Well, they had VCRs when I was a kid, but they were like, $5,000 way back then. And I'm not exaggerating. It's
So
crazy.
everybody could have them.
Yeah. And so you something you wanted to watch was on one station. You had to miss the other, but also the commercials for toys and freaking those sugar ass kid cereals, man. They just I wanted all of that stuff that Lucky Charms and all that tricks, all the ones I mentioned. And I just
love
remember that
people always start their stories talking about this stuff and they say as a kid, and I'm like, now.
yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons,
Yeah.
stuff for Lucky Charms or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, more.
They don't even do they even have I don't even think they even have Saturday morning cartoons. It's not
It's
like it
not-
was. Yeah, nothing like
not
it
as
was
an
back
event.
in the day.
Yeah, they don't have, I don't think they have block timing like event stuff like they used to.
I mean, that shit would run from 7 a.m. to noon, man.
Me in high school even is when the WB network, they'd start to have cartoons on,
Yeah.
or they'd have cartoon blocks, and that's when the Batman would air, was on Saturdays around those times. And then I think just it all went away.
Yeah.
Too bad. Simpler times.
Yeah.
When
So,
those
I
were
mean,
big
going back,
problems.
I think my point I was making about the VCR, you had to choose. If something good was coming on, like Scooby Doo, Where Are You was coming on, and one station, and then Super Friends was on something else or whatever. Hong Kong Fooey or any of those. Jabberjaw. You remember Jabberjaw?
No.
And anyway, it was a shark that sounded like Curly from the Three Stooges. Had that, yeah. But man, you were SOL. You had to choose, man.
Yeah.
You had to choose. You were. I tended to be a Scooby Doo guy.
Good. Yeah.
Land of the Lost. Sid and Marty Krofft shows. Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Anyway,
Nope.
I am down a rabbit hole here. So let's get back on track.
Here's a satellite show coming.
Let's get back.
Saturday morning cartoons.
There you go. Let's get back to Batman, rank them. So bat logos. No 40s cereals.
No 40 cereals.
But yes to B66 because there was a movie, not a cereal, and up through the Batman. So we're talking Batman the movie 1966, Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman v Superman, and The Batman. All right. And yes, so the logos are similar, but they are different. That makes sense. So, I mean, there is a clear difference between, for example, yes, the symbol is the same as like Begins, Dark Knight, and Rises, but Rises took the original symbol and made a specific one for that movie. And the Dark Knight and Rises. So yeah, we're counting. We're going. We're not just using that one. All right, here we go. Number 5.
All right,
Ryan.
Number 5. That's true. You always give me the floor. What a gracious host. Number 5 for me is the logo for 1992's Batman Returns. Much like you just said, similar styles of some of these movies, but there are differences. And this one, yes, very similar to Batman 89, but it was at Christmas time. So it had, so two things instantly come to mind with this one. So the, lining outside of it was, like mixed white, gray, silver-ish, depending on where you saw it. But I instantly can picture is at the end of the trailer, maybe, of the snow blowing over the bat symbol. And then also they were the Topps cards for Batman Returns. And in the bottom left had, that's where like the silver lining came in for the Batman Returns logo. So those two things, very nostalgic for me. Two things I can like instantly picture in my mind. And yeah, another thing, like all these rankums that I've joined you with, I talk a lot of nostalgia for a lot of these things, and that's definitely one of them. And then yeah, like Christmas time, the Batman and snow, it was just like something different.
Yeah.
It was really like really fun and really cool. So definitely it's the Batman Returns logo for me for number 5.
My number 5, it's gonna be a shocker for you.
Uh-oh.
It's the logo from BVS.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I told you
And
I could not predict your list. And there you go.
See, I can separate myself. I can, focus on this topic and separate it from the way I feel about the movie. I like the logo, not really because of the, it infuses the bat logo and then Superman's S, but Superman's logo, but I did like that bat logo that was they used, the chest on the bat suit as well, and it's used in the marketing logo. So yeah, I like it. So I'm just going by what I like and had to rank them. Yeah,
wow.
You've
heard everybody's hearing it here first. He's coming around on Batman vs Superman.
I didn't say that.
Logo.
I didn't say that. Let's not go crazy here now.
Top 5 Batman films. But
yeah,
let's redo the list.
I was going back and forth between that and the Batman 66 logo. And the logo's more, to me, it's more associated with the TV series itself.
Yeah.
Than the film. So I went with BVS. All right. Number 4.
Nice. Well done. Number 4 for me. I almost thought it was going to go back and forth between number 5 and this one, but too much nostalgia for this as well. The Batman Forever logo. I don't know how many times I've brought that up when you and I have done these rank 'em, and I've talked about prime Ryan age for Batman Forever. I had a ball cap with that logo on it. I had a t-shirt that had that logo on it, and I wore that stuff all the time. I would try to always draw it myself. I still to this day can't draw the bat symbol. But I would always try to do the question mark with the bat symbol in it and stuff too. And yeah, even that day, I sent you a picture of it last week when I was wearing it. Of wearing a shirt, not the same shirt from when I was a kid, a new one. But yeah. I love that logo, and it's totally kind of cornball, a little cheesy in the movie when Riddler does the question mark around the bat symbol, but also like I don't care. To me, it just gets me giddy, makes me happy, and it's fun. Yeah. So Batman Forever logo, I like that one.
When you were a kid, I bet that was the greatest logo you ever saw in your life.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's Batman. But it's a question mark.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, not to mention that's just one that like anywhere that you see it, and I know that this could maybe sound dumb, but I mean the media frenzy of that one, I mean, probably not to the height of 89, but that one, that is such a specific, not to be confused with anything.
You knew exactly what it was all about.
Batman
Riddler. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It still stands out to me. I like it a lot.
It does. It does. I agree. My number 4 is the Batman.
Oh, okay.
Really liked it. I liked it was different. It fit. I liked how it looks. Then there's the logo that we see, and then the version of it that it's on the suit. So we already ranked suits, but it's on the suit. I just think it's a cool looking logo. It's got to be hard, I think. And going forward is like, do you want to do what's been done before, or do you do your own spin on the bat logo, whether it be for marketing or actual the chest symbol. But yeah, I really like the Batman logo quite a bit. So it made my list at number 4. There you go.
All right.
It'd be interesting to see if they alter it a little bit, kind of like like they did with the Dark Knight trilogy going forward, to see if it represents kind of, because they tweak it to where it kind of represents the theme of the film. But we'll see in due time. All right, number 3.
Well, it's a perfect setup for me because my number 3 is the Batman
Okay.
logo. Do you remember the ideas that it was the piece of Joe Chill's gun,
Yeah.
which Kevin Smith did for, was it Detective Comics? I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was 1027, but maybe it was 1,000. And that was part of it, of like the gun was in the, but I didn't necessarily believe it because I just kind of thought like, I think because by 2019 when it came out, like that story is just like, Reeves is already further along that I don't think he's just been sitting on like, what do I do with this symbol? Oh, thanks, Kevin Smith. And then we saw the movie and it was a knife, which was awesome. But no, I think much like we see with a lot of things, Reeves's respect and homage to different eras of Batman, especially early Batman. And you see that the bat symbol in the comics, like I just typed it in just to look, and it's like a thing that I pulled up showed 1939 what it looks like, and then 1939 to 1941, and it's just like a little different. I'm like, oh, see, I feel like the Batman symbol is a mashup of those two.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's cool too.
The first time I saw it, my first thought was the 1939 original Batman logo. So
like smaller, like batish. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's a little more subtle. I liked it from the get-go.
Yeah, with the actual logo includes the little pointy bat ears. The suit did not have the pointy ears, which the 1939 bat logo was just the wings, the wings and the scallops. So there's no doubt in my mind that that's not intentional on Reeves's part, and it harkens back to that original Batman.
that day that he comes on the BOF podcast, and I'll be like, oh, Bill, that was a pure accident. I didn't mean that at all.
Yeah.
I just fell into that one. Like kind of like you said too, if they alter it in any way for the next movie or anything, I'm really curious too. Of like, I wonder, like if it was like, Ryan, you have to guess and you have to put money down on your guess. Mine would just be the color. I would feel like the symbol itself would stay the same, but instead of red, maybe it is another color. But it'll be interesting to see if any.
It's going to be blue because ice blue because Mr. Freeze.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mr. Freeze is going to be the villain. He'll be in there stealing diamonds.
Stealing those diamonds in the background, but maybe yellow for the yolk and eggs because Egghead is coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. There we go.
Yeah,
all right, you heard it here first, people.
Makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. All right.
Hey, y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor. My number 3, we kind of flip-flop here. I got the Batman Forever ? Logo. Say what you want about the film. And and you say what you want to say about Jim Carrey's performance as the Riddler, which is not far off. It's like an exaggerated Frank Gorshin, to be honest. It's a Jim Carrey as Frank Gorshin. If that makes any sense.
I listened to you and Pete rank your live action movie villains, and I did my own list, too, and in my head, and I put Carrey's Riddler at number 5 for me. Still to this day, I love it. He did what he needed to. He was entertaining. He was fun. Whatever. I'm good.
Yeah. It's not like I still go back when people try to talk down on it. I'm like, if you went around in 1995, Batman Forever was a big hit. a
It was
big
a
ass hit.
There you go.
And people thought that was one of the greatest casting of all time, Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
And
So
it was.
yeah. That was a great logo, period.
Mhm. Yeah.
The question mark, whoever came up with that idea.
Yep. It's
Hope
funny
they-
because it
I
seems
hope
like it's
they're
so
good-
obvious.
Yeah.
It seems so obvious, but yeah.
Yeah. And it is just you see it, like I said when you mentioned it on your list. You see
much-
it, you know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When
And
you
isn't
see
that the
it,
point?
You knew it was the new Batman movie, and you
Mhm.
knew the Riddler was going to be in it.
And that's the point of marketing.
Yeah.
And look at that. Like, yep, accomplished their goal. How much merchandise did you have with that stuff on it? Did you have much?
Not a lot. I had a lot of who did the little action figure line.
Oh gosh, I'm bad with that stuff.
Was it Mattel or Kenner or I don't know. But I had a lot of the figures. They had all kind of these different versions of the suits, of the bat suit. Because
oh yeah. Which I had those.
And they stayed around a while because
Kenner.
It
was Kenner.
Yeah, all my kids played with that. I
Mhm.
literally up in my attic in a tote is a field completely filled with those various versions of Batman action figures, including some that were part of the Batman Forever marketing. So, but I mean, as far as any of the collectibles, announcer Rachel, those are not toys, they're not dolls, collectibles. As far as the stuff I have now is stuff I actually got later on as an adult,
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
It's my best, like one of my best. I'd have to go through everyone. One of my best Christmases, Christmas 1995.
Oh,
Batman
it had
Forever
to be.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that really, we get upset with letting merchandise and marketing and tie-ins affect the film.
Yeah.
Like it did, but that was almost a perfect marriage of the two.
Yeah.
Was Batman Forever. Whereas when you got to Batman and Robin, it was just completely off the rails, the wrong direction. So
Yeah,
but
that was good logo, great logo. And those glasses now that I use every week, me and my lady use every week, and it's got that engraved perfectly, that symbol, that logo, I should say.
Yeah.
Because Bill, it's the bat symbol, but with a question mark around it.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. How'd they do that?
I don't know how they did that.
I was probably trying to put that stuff like in school on my papers and stuff with a question, do a question with the bat symbol. It's like, Ryan, knock it off.
Oh, I was
got
grading,
called in.
I was grading papers and I would draw it on
Just draw it on there.
kids.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Question mark. Yeah. Bat logo. Okay.
Those kids went home and they're like, Mom, Mr. Ramey's cool. He likes Batman Forever.
Coach Ramey.
Coach Ramey. Sorry,
Yeah.
Coach Ramey. Wow.
I used to, back in the early days, speaking of that, I'd make my own test, right?
Mhm.
So now it's all standardized and everyone don't get me started. It's a different topic. But anyway, I'd teach a unit. I'd make my own test for the unit.
Mhm.
I taught history and I always have questions like thrown in there that were should have been give me questions. Bruce Wayne is secretly which superhero? And then I had Spider-Man, Batman.
Okay. I was gonna say, did you make it multiple choice?
Yeah, it was always some kind of question included about Batman. And I always see that when the kids would get to it, they go and laugh, But it used to shock me the ones that would get. I mean, it was like we get it wrong. Bruce Wayne is secretly, and that'd be Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Hulk, or something like that. The Hulk.
One of those students, Robert Pattinson. It's all connected.
Yeah, it is. Been laying low on that. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, Batman Forever for me, number 3. 2.
2. This one was, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remember. This one was, I don't know if you remem not difficult, but it was just a little wild for me in trying to figure out, Batman Begins. But I think it's because that initial teaser trailer of that, kind of like gold bronze coloring on the
Mm-hmm.
bat symbol, coming into focus. And when I looked up the logo specifically, because I'm like, the Dark Knight's great. The Dark Knight is basically, it's the same logo and look and
Mm-hmm.
everything, but it's like, but the Dark Knight has like the blue outburst behind it,
Yeah.
outlined blue. And then Dark Knight Rises was much more like it was the white symbol and white behind it coming out and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think of the three, I think I like the Begins look the most of the three. And I wasn't gonna put, Batman Begins, then the Dark Knight, then the Dark Knight Rises. It was like, nah, I'm gonna choose one. And so I think the Begins one. I don't have a Batman tattoo, but I'd said I think if I got a Batman tattoo, it would probably be that symbol as opposed to like an oval or something too, or the
Mm-hmm.
question mark. Yeah, there's something about that one too that it seems much more pointy and lined and stuff and everything too,
Mm-hmm.
but I like that logo a lot. So there you go. Batman Begins.
Were you I won't say confused, but were you surprised that we got that logo? That was the first thing they ever released. It was just that
Mm-hmm.
when they launched the website, it was just you go there, it would be that logo, the Batman Begins logo, kind of that bronze type,
Mm-hmm.
metallic-y. Were you surprised it wasn't on the bat suit when you actually saw the bat suit?
Yeah. I'm not gonna act like I distinctly remember every single possible emotion and what I thought when I first saw it, but it gave me a little bit of vibes from '89 in the logo used for marketing, and the logo on the chest is different. But his batarangs used in
Mm-hmm.
Begins were that symbol too. So, yeah, it was a little surprising. It was kind of like, wonder why it's different. But also, I didn't give a shit.
I was told I didn't. Yeah, at the end of the day, I was told that they tried that logo
Mm-hmm.
and it just that's terrible. I'm gonna
It
did
just
it.
doesn't work on the.
It didn't it just didn't fit the text,
Gotcha.
the way the chest was set up. It was kind of
Gotcha.
distorted. And so they went with something that, I do like the bat
Yeah.
logo on that suit. But as you
Yeah.
know, I mean, we saw in the next suit he got in the Dark Knight, it had that bat logo on there. So
So that's why in the Dark Knight, though, they did a take where he asked Lucius if I need a new suit, and Lucius was like, "Why is that?" And instead of the turn in your head, it was like, "Because I need the right bat symbol on my chest."
hmm,
And then
yeah,
but it just didn't flow.
yeah,
So Nolan had another
yeah.
take, and
I
that's what they
got you.
kept. So
Yeah.
there you go.
They rewrote that right there on the spot.
15 years later, it finally comes to
Yeah.
light. That's what
Yep.
happened.
My number two is close to that one, but it is the Dark Knight logo.
Okay. All
I
right.
liked it. I liked the breaking up
Mm-hmm.
aspect that some shit was about to go down. Some bad shit was about to go down
Yeah.
because of the Joker. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like the color scheme with it, the kind of that little blue, whitish,
Mm-hmm.
bluish type they went with for the Dark Knight. So yeah, it's the Dark Knight. What can I say?
Yeah. We could talk the Dark Knight all day.
Yeah.
I mean, we did this summer, but
Yes.
I could do it again because it's a pretty decent little flick.
You think they'll ever use the Dark Knight in a Batman movie title again?
Yeah. I think it'll still 15 years, but still too soon. Um, I don't know. I don't know, actually. I know I quickly just said yes because of that, but I mean, it carries with it, but also like the greedy aspect is like some suit will end up being in charge and that'll be their demand because like we need to cash in on that title of Dark Knight. So they'll use that, I think. But I think we're far from it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's because you can always go to Batman. Like, the Batman. The Batman. We've had Batman, the Batman. Now we've had the Batman. Now we have the Batman Part 2 coming. So
Yeah.
I'm always was a fan of getting into a show on titles, but
Yeah.
but I always liked just having a title. Batman Forever, Batman
Yeah.
Returns, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, instead of a semicolon subtitle. But I don't mind it with the Batman because it gives me like a Godfather type,
Mhm.
the Batman Part 2. I like the Part 2. If it had some subtitle, the Batman cleaning up the water and God, some nonsense. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm trying to think of like something ridiculous because I was about to say the Batman, Robin, eat your cereal, but then I'm like, wait, actually, that doesn't
yes,
sound too bad.
remember
Eat your
like
cereal, watch
back
cartoons.
like back in the day when they were filming, starting before filming and end of filming with Batman Begins, before we knew it was Batman Begins, that no one made up, it was Intimidation Game was
Mhm.
the fake name for the movie. And people were like, Batman, the Intimidation Game. I'm like,
Yes.
what the hell does that, what does that mean?
Man, that title sounds awesome. I mean, we were
Yeah.
ahead of the time, but there would have been, headlines and 5-hour podcasts dissecting the title Batman Intimidation Game,
Yeah.
if it was around
Yeah.
then.
That happened. And
I laugh, but
the ways that the ways that could have had debate on that and talk about back then, it happened. Absolutely
Oh,
happened.
goodness
The
gracious.
Intimidation Game. And then people just, people got butthurt when it was Batman Begins and it wasn't Batman the Intimidation Game. They lied to me. They lied.
I'm hurt. It was
Yeah.
my right as a fan to have
Yeah.
it be Intimidation Game. And I never, still to this day, I've heard criticism of Batman Begins as a title. I like it. It doesn't bother me at all. I like it.
I never blinked on that. Made
Me neither. I
complete
was like, oh, cool.
sense.
Batman Begins. It
Yeah,
totally makes sense. It's a restart. Like,
Yeah.
he's beginning to be Batman. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah. All right. We're at number 1.
Number 1. All right.
Could this be we both have the same number 1 or the same one? We haven't had one that matched up number wise. So
No, I
on the
feel like we
list.
do here. This actually might have been the only
Yeah.
one that I thought we would have matched up. And I will say though, because now would be the time that you could throw in like jokingly, oh, it's this one, because everybody laughs because this one's bad. But I don't think there's a bad logo
No, I don't
of
either.
any of these live action
I was about
movies.
to say, yeah.
The Batman and Robin one I thought was cool too. I had Batman and Robin stuff, and I liked that logo. I thought that was cool. I like the red
Yeah.
coloring with the black and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's at this point, it's a no-brainer for me. It's 89.
Yeah. Yeah.
You too.
Yeah. It's 89.
So it's so weird to me because I know on that the 6 is good. The 6-part documentary series on the extras of the anthology. And I thought for the first one that people didn't know what that logo was and it was looking down a throat or something like that. And it just really confuses me if that really was the perception, if people really had no idea that that was a bat symbol.
I never got that.
Okay.
I'm looking at it
pretty
right
clear
now.
to me.
I have that poster hanging in the office. It's it's 11 by 17, so it's a smaller version. But I did have a big 2-sided actual one sheet. I have it somewhere framed. The glass got cracked on a move at one time, so it's up in the attic, I think. But I remember seeing it for the first time hanging, going to watch a movie and seeing it, in the lobby. And I never thought, why is someone opening up their mouth and, I don't know. And I even looking at it now, I'm like, I don't know. My eyes I see the bat logo. So I don't know what.
So maybe I'm just too close to it. My whole life is basically seeing that symbol, but
yeah,
I mean, taking it back, I like the coloring.
Look, I can see the bat symbol in a loaf of bread. You take out a slice of bread, take out a loaf, give me a slice.
I have
and
a
can
Batman.
find the
I have a
bat
Batman
loaf.
toaster that burns the
Yes.
bat symbol on it. So
We have that
yeah,
too.
I
So,
literally, I
yeah.
do literally see it on bread. But no, I mean it's classic. I think at this point you can say it's iconic. The coloring, I really like the coloring of almost like the yellow, orange, goldy kind of look to it. Maybe tint of brown with it. I don't know. I like the coloring with that as opposed to just being bright yellow. Yeah, just then comes in all the nostalgia vibes of that movie and everything. So, I knew that was number one. I knew Dark Knight or Dark Knight trilogy. One of those was going to be close. But I don't know. This was the only one that was definite. I knew, took no time. Yep, that's number one.
Yeah, I did my list. I had the picture, the list, the little image, and I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 started. But I did right to number one, B89. That's a no-brainer. It is iconic. It is classic. You can still look at it and know exactly. And a lot of these you can with most of these. You can look and go and know exactly what movie it was.
Yeah.
But this one really, I mean, it's just ingrained in pop culture history, pop culture movie history. And just that was Batman in 89. And anytime I hear, that Batmania and Batman in 89 was not as big as people make it out to be, I'm like, horse hockey. You were either not here or you're trolling if you were.
Usually,
that was.
I thought that I heard there's a saying down in your parts that the reaction will be "bless your heart."
Bless your heart. Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was. I lived it.
You lived it.
I lived it.
Yeah. Yep. Ain't no Kasab. Spitting truths.
No. Spitting no.
89
no
magic.
Kasab here. Yeah.
So with the marketing of Batmania at the time, was it always the color with the oval as well too, or was it just like the oval was present everywhere?
That
color
oval,
and
the
everything.
color, that logo kind of almost, it's shiny. It's got the light reflection and all that. Yeah, that logo. Because at first it was just there was no Batman, no Nicholson Keaton, no credits. Yeah. It was just the logo and the date. That was it.
Hell yeah. Another marketing genius idea of it's a symbol. That's all you need. You don't need you don't need the stacked, these days for that movie it'd be stacked of Batman, but then below is Joker, and then there's Vicky, and then there's Knox, and then there's Eckhart, they'd have to make sure to put every single thing, and then the Batmobile underneath it, because that's the way they do it, of a triangle stacked formula. And long do I miss those days of it's simple. And the Batman even had, the rain, blurry, out of focus Batman behind it, and then the Batman. I'm like, yeah, simple.
That
Great.
one's the one.
Go with that.
I have the big one of that.
Yep.
And it's almost the same thing. You knew exactly what that is.
Yep. I love
That's
that
all
one.
you needed. They did vary. I got a couple of the Batman posters hanging up. And speaking of that, we are going to rank posters at one time.
I do have I don't know if you remember, I did a post for BOF, I think over the summer.
Yeah.
That did one. It was fun tracking down as many movie posters as I could think of, to try and do then go through, because I think I thanks to technology, not because I'm some kind of graphic artist, was able to put all of them in one image. But yeah, that was, I think I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think I've changed my thoughts since then.
Okay.
Granted, it was just the summer, but I'd have to go through and look through some more.
Be a companion piece to that article. All right.
Piece. There we go.
So to recap, number 5 for me, BBS, 4, The Batman, 3, Batman Forever, 2, The Dark Knight, and number 1, Batman 89. Ryan, you had
Batman Returns, number 5. Batman Forever, number 4. The Batman, number 3. Batman Begins, number 2. And with a bullet, a batarang, I should say, because Batman doesn't use guns. Batman 89, number 1.
All right.
Most shocking out of all of these. So you have BBS, number 5.
I just
Well
like
done.
the look of that bat symbol. So maybe-
Bill
I mean,
Zaddy Ramey.
yeah,
You heard it. There you go.
well, hold on. Hold on.
I was gonna say, pump the brakes. Let's make sure
Yeah.
to edit that
Hold
out.
on
before I
now.
Post.
Yeah. Hold on.
Don't be bringing that slander here, sir.
All right. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, I do. This month doing something fun for my podcast, the Batman Book Club. Going through the 8 issues of One Bad Day with villains. So it's going to be a lot of episodes dropping, but try to make them shorter too. So they're going to average around that 30-40 minute mark for each one. With friend of the show, Paul Herman. The first one of those, the Riddler, has dropped, and yeah, they're going to be coming fast. Next one will be Two-Face. Yeah, check that out. My podcast, the Batman Book Club. And then on Batman on Film proper, new issue of the monthly Batman title is going to be coming up, and so I'll have a review for that and sent to Bill to post on the website. Did you read all those One Bad Day books?
I haven't read any of those.
You didn't read any of those. Okay.
Mm-mm.
There's some really good ones. Some that I think are good, but I don't think any of them are bad. There's just like maybe 1 or 2 are like fine.
Do you have?
But-
do they have all of them collected in one?
Not
In
in
one
one, and
book?
not yet. I feel like eventually, because I think they're like 60 pages each. So do the math, 8 times 6. Yeah, they could do a 500-page omnibus
Yeah.
with that someday. But I mean, they've got each one out individually,
Yeah.
like, available digitally. They released each one in hardcover. But then there's the original ones. But yeah, they were pretty good. So yeah, that's coming this month, and that's pretty fun.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Batman-on-film.com. That's all I got. You'll find everything there. Twitter/X. Follow
wish
me
I could've
there.
I
all
wish
that
I remember
stuff.
which episode that you did the explaining of the dashes, so I could plug. If you want to know why the dashes are in
Yeah.
the name, go back to Social Hour.
It's like we'll go back. It's a couple, 2 or 3, 4 episodes back.
Yeah, you and I were on here.
That's because
It was you and I.
Kowalski and Vera were giving me the
yeah.
business.
They sure were, and they had
giving me
some
the
beef.
business. Yeah.
No Holzman and Nolan beef, but they had some beef with you on the dashes. So
There's no.
You had to
I've
set
never
the record
seen-
straight.
I've never seen beef like the Holzman Nolan feud.
that's wild. Yeah, it's wild. They need to settle that. But yeah, that's all I got. that's all I got on
That's
that
all
one.
I got,
Ran
too.
out of
All
steam
right.
on that.
Announcer Rachel, finish up here. Thanks for being here and checking out this show, and we will catch you next time.
You have been listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official podcast on Batman on Film. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To help keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original, Batman on Film, founded in 1998.
Say goodbye, Graceland.